Perfect. All righty. So let me start the meeting. So this is Paul Chima. I'm the counselor of Malton Community Gavel Club. So today is our special meeting, and I call the meeting to order. So a few house rules. Nobody leaves their seats till the meeting is adjourned. Your phones should either be on mute or vibrate or be turned off. Your camera should stay on so we can see you. If we don't see you, then you are not here for us. And we will not let you participate in any of the event because we need to see your body gestures and expressions when you give your speech or are a panelist. With that, I would like to read the mission statement. Mission statement of Toastmasters Club is that we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Thank you very much, each and every one of you who took time to be here. This is our special session, and we are going to be broadcast on a popular TV show in the coming few days. So with that, let me start with our panel discussion. So as you can see, I have assigned each and every one of you as a panel number. So make sure that you have your panel number ahead of you. That is panelist and the first name. All righty, do I have that right? Panelist and so we have 5 panelists for now. I'm sorry, Pratham, because of your network issues, you are unable to participate, but you can watch. Maybe next time we can fix that up. Ira, I do not see your name with your panelist number there.
I'm sorry, how should I rename it?
If you look at, say, panelist 1-Ira. Take it easy, have a smile, enjoy yourself, let the energy flow in. That's how we're going to run the meeting. And here we go. All righty, pulling up my agenda that is sent over. So welcome panelists to this special panel discussion today. And we are going to show to the world what it means to be a Gavelier or being in a Toastmasters Club. I am so happy that a few parents of those people who were running in our YLP or Gavel Club has joined Toastmasters Club. Isn't that so nice to see them motivated and you guys motivated them? They saw progress in you and they decided to take on the journey with you guys. Awesome. So now I will ask Pratham, can you fix your spellings of panelist, please? Panelist, and it has to come before your name. So when we start asking the questions, I would suggest to stay within 45 seconds to 1 minute duration. You can take time to think, create a little opening, your body, and the summary of your speech. If you do that, will be great. Otherwise, every response is a great, great, great response. So now I will start with panelist number 1, Ira. Ira, I would like you to introduce yourself.
So hi everyone, my name is Ira. I'm a grade 9 student and so this is my first year in high school. As I've just started high school, I'm just trying to adapt to all the new changes that COVID has presented. And it's been going well so far, and we've made it through the year. So I'm very proud of myself for making it through my first year of high school during such a difficult time. Some of my hobbies include piano and dance. Before COVID, I would attend piano classes, and now I've just been teaching myself songs at home. And I also love to dance in any of my spare time. The reason I'm very excited to be part of this meeting today and part of Gavel Club in general is because in the future, I hope to be a lawyer, and I hope to start my own business. So I think that in order to pursue any of those career paths, it's important to have strong leadership and public speaking skills. So this is some of the reasons that I'm very excited to be here today, and I look forward to the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ira. That was a fabulous speech. Piano is something that I want to play, but I never know how to sync my fingers with the keyboard. For me, it's a very difficult thing. Now, our second panelist, let's give him a big round of applause. Sean, can you introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. My name is Sean, and I'm in grade 4. Why I joined the program, I actually didn't know anything about it until one day my mom told me, "You're going to have a program." And then I went in. It was actually in Toastmasters, not MC Gavel Club. And from that day on, I've seen a lot of changes in me and like what I do in my life. I used to just, when we go on a walk, I used to just walk, not mind about anyone's business. But now I actually have I'm brave enough to say hi to people and to brighten their day. And then it becomes a ripple effect. So then it will
Good
go
to know.
on.
1, 2, and 3. Please give a big round of applause to panelist number 3, Aditi. Aditi, please introduce yourself.
So hello, my name is Aditi. I am studying in 3rd grade and I live in the region of Halton. Some words I would use to describe myself would be creative, hardworking, and a funny person, since a lot of people laugh at whatever I say. I don't know if that's a compliment or if that's an insult, but I feel like being funny is an important thing. Some hobbies that I have would be playing guitar, watching YouTube, and coding. I really love doing these 3 things, and I probably go on my computer a lot to just search up how to play this song on the guitar, how to do this thing on code. So I feel like those are my main hobbies. I also really love reading novels by Rick Riordan, who's popular for the Percy Jackson books and stuff like that. And I feel like I have a lot of friends and I'm a social person, but sometimes I don't like going outside. So I'd call myself an ambivert, an extrovert and an introvert, someone who likes staying inside and outside. So that's some things I would say to describe myself. And thank you for listening to me. And I'd like to pass it back to the counselor, Mr. Paul.
Thank you very much. Coding and guitar, they go side by side. They both need focus and so much concentration. Great job. So now we move on to our panelist number 4. Give her a big round of applause. Sarah, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Sarah, and I am in 7th grade. Some hobbies that I always love to do, whatever the time, would be making art. Different mediums of art is fine. I like playing the flute, and I also love programming HTML. I would consider myself a honest, athletic, caring, and creative person. I love the Gavel Club because it has taught me to always grab opportunities, and it has enhanced my leadership skills. And it has also boosted my confidence. Now I would like to turn it back to the counselor, Paul Chima. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Athlete. So we'll see you. What kind of games you like to play? Just a question. Race or
Yeah, I play sports like volleyball, soccer, and I also have like, playful sports just for fun like badminton.
okay, great. Now we are moving on to our final panelist, Avni. Avni, can you introduce yourself, please?
Thank you, Mr. Paul. So my name is Avni, and I'm in 6th grade in the Peel region. I have tons of hobbies, but my main hobbies would be listening to music, dancing, and drawing or painting. I love dancing because I get to express myself with movement, but I also really like playing sports such as volleyball, basketball, and soccer. I like to listen to any type of music, but lately I've been really into K-pop and BTS and other K-pop bands. I really like doing art because I like to draw. I like to draw many things and cartoons. I I really like the experience in Toastmasters because it boosted my confidence, and I don't feel that nervous before presentations anymore. But now, before I felt really nervous and like I kept bouncing my leg in like anxiety. But now I don't feel that nervous anymore. So my confidence has boosted because of Toastmasters. Thank you. I pass it back to Mr. Paul.
You know, one thing that I like when you said you like to express yourself in your body movement during dance. Fabulous. There's a new dimension to dancing. Expressing yourself. Fantastic. Really liked it. Good job so far, guys. Fantastic. Now, my second question would be to our panelist number 5, because I see her here. So I will start in the reverse order now. So, Avni, what did you know about this program, Gavel Club or Youth Leadership Program? I'm not sure if you were in Youth Leadership Program before. Were you in
I
Youth
was in the
Leadership?
yeah, I was in a YLP.
So, what did you know about these programs before you actually joined them?
Before I joined Toastmasters, all I knew about Toastmasters was that it's a program to help you boost your confidence and speech making and talking in front of audiences. And I also knew this most of the stuff because I joined as a guest before in I don't remember where it was in a Fresco thing, but I don't like it was nearby my house, so my mom just signed me up as a guest. So that's where I got most of my knowledge of Toastmasters from. And then my mom, somebody referred to my mom about Toastmasters, so I joined YLP and Gavel Club.
Thank you very much. And coming back to panelist number 4, Sarah. Sarah, what did you know about this program before joining?
Thank you. Before joining, I'm going to be honest, I didn't know anything about this program. Absolutely like no information about how it works or the people who are going to be there or what we're going to learn about. I didn't know anything, but I do know like my parents told me to join it, and they said, oh, just join the trial class and you can tell me if you would like it or not. And I joined the class for the first time, and the people there were super welcoming and acceptive, and I got many opportunities to showcase my leadership and public speaking skills. And yeah, I didn't know anything about the Gavel Club. Thank you.
Fantastic. And I just noticed either way I start from first to 5 or 5 to first, Aditi always comes in the middle. Right, Aditi?
Yep, you're right.
Yeah. So, Aditi, what did you know about these programs, YLP or Gavel Club, before you actually joined us?
So first when I joined Toastmasters, before I never actually joined YLP or Gavel Club first. I first joined a a Toastmasters club somewhere in a different city. from where I'm living right now. So my dad found out about it from a library because the poster was hanging on the wall, and he said, okay, you got to join this. You can't speak really well. You have no leadership skills at all. So just join it so you can improve yourself. So after a few weeks, I joined it and I was scared as hell because I was a very shy person and I couldn't talk without stuttering for 1 second. So I was really scared and I was sweating very much. So after a few weeks, when I got used to this club, I felt more confident in myself, and I was I felt normal around these people. So that really boosted my confidence, and comparing myself to when I first joined to right now, there's a huge difference. So thank you for asking this question, and I'd like to pass it back to the counselor.
Wow. Did you guys listen? She proved her dad wrong. Now she is a leader. I see she takes proactive actions in the club meetings all the time. Good job, Aditi. Our second panelist, Sean. Sean, what did you know about these programs before you actually joined us?
So I wasn't here first, I was in YLP. And so before that, my mom told me it'll improve your speaking skills. Nothing about leadership or evaluation. So then I joined. And then I really didn't know the meaning of evaluation back then. But then I found out and I was like, and then one day I told my mom, you never told me there was something called evaluation. And then Paul mentioned about MC Gavel Club, and like it goes on and on and on. So then I thought it was like the same thing, but just nonstop. So I joined, but then I saw a bit difference in both. But overall, both of them were great.
Awesome. But you had no knowledge about these clubs before. And Sean's mom is our Adult Toastmasters Club member. Coming back to Ira. Ira, what did you know about these programs before joining?
Yeah, so I actually did not have much exposure to these specific programs, but everyone in my family and a lot of my cousins and older family members are very interested in public speaking. So the little exposure I did have to this Toastmaster Club was my older cousin was actually the president of his Toastmaster Club for many years. So I was very interested always in watching him prepare his speeches. I actually attended one of the clubs and got to see a little bit of it, of the in-person kind of pre-COVID ways that the club would run. So that was kind of the little exposure that I had to these specific programs. But in general, now after joining it, I definitely see why many people are interested in these kind of clubs, as it's very beneficial to a person to improve your leadership skills. But before actually joining it, I did have a little bit of a sense to my older family members. So that's kind of what got me interested. Back to the counselor.
Thank you very much, Ira. So you did have some insight into the Toastmasters before you joined, actually, because your relative was president of similar club, adult club or Gavel Club. Oh, okay, all righty. So now we'll keep starting with Ira. We'll continue the next question. Ira, these clubs promote public speaking and leadership skills. Why do you think these are important for everyone?
I think public speaking is a major aspect in life, in any career path you take. So I think it's an important skill to develop as you're younger. And when you get older, such as Adult Toastmaster Club, that's a great way to continue developing it. So public speaking is an aspect that's always going to follow you throughout life. And leadership, I think, is what really sets you apart in life. And as I've said before, leaders and followers are distinct groups, but I think having leadership skills is very important to stand out and advance your career and goals in life in general. I think that they're also important skills to have, as when you learn one skill, it comes with so many other skills that you develop from learning it. So with skills, you develop confidence. With public speaking, you develop better communication skills with people. So that's why I think leadership and communication skills are vital for a human to develop.
Thank you very much, Ira. Anyone else wants to throw another light on this question? Any panelist, let me know who is interested to speak. Why do you think is public speaking and leadership so important? Okay, Shan, go ahead.
So like why I think public speaking is important, it can like if you're in trouble, it can get you out of that trouble sometimes. Like so basically my teacher was changing our seats and I was actually at the far back because I joined the class. And so then I asked her, can I go a bit to the front? She was like, maybe next time. So then I gave her like a mini speech. And she was actually impressed. And then like I saw that my public speaking helped me. And then yeah, it's way easier for me now. Like my basically I just went for it. I tried to give a mini speech and she was surprised. And then she asked me where I learned this. And then I said Toastmasters, YLP. And then I really felt good after that day.
Awesome. So you did got benefit of public speaking in your classroom. Fantastic. Very nice. Anyone else wants to throw any light on why public speaking and leadership? All right, Sarah, go ahead.
Thank you. So I think both of them are very like significant factors that can help you to reach success in life, and even in the future, it can also be beneficial to you. Yeah, so they're very important life skills that every individual, I think, should have in order to be successful. And like Ira said, both these topics are actually very broad. So if you learn public speaking skills and leadership skills, you also get like side benefits such as dependence. You would learn how to convey messages more effectively, and you just overall have more faith in yourself. Thank you. Back to the counselor.
That is fabulous. Convey messages more effectively. I'm writing down some key nuggets that I'm getting from you. They're kind of golden nuggets for me. And I will keep learning more and more. You guys inspire me all the time. Anyone else who wants to throw any light on why RIT is? Aditi, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. So why I think public speaking is important is because I can change anyone's mind by having public speaking. So for example, if my brother won't give me ice cream or something because he's the only one who got it, I will try to change his mind and be like, I will give you this thing if you give it to me. And then I try to sound very influential, very persuasive in my words that he eventually gives in and just gives me the ice cream. But at the end, I don't do anything. See, I'm a politician. So that is one reason why public speaking is important. And I have used this persuasive skill on literally everyone I know, and it has worked a lot for me. So if you join this club, then you can get this skill. Just promotion time. So yes, changing other people's minds by public speaking is really important. So thank you for the question, and I'd like to pass it back to the counselor.
That was cool. All righty. So you keep using these skills to get chocolate or ice cream from your brother. All righty. Avni, you want to add something to all those amazing points here?
Okay, sure. So public speaking can help you a lot of ways because first of all, you can get great leadership skills. Before I joined Toastmasters, my leadership skills were pretty bad. So like whenever I was assigned to be like the leader of a group, I didn't really like go well with everyone. So after Toastmasters, I feel like if I was assigned as a leader again, it would be easier for me to like coordinate with everyone because Toastmasters has taught me a lot of leadership skills and also like persuasive points, as everyone else said. It's going to be easier to persuade everyone to just decide on one opinion instead of fighting over many. Back to the counselor.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I find Toastmasters has definitely helped me to be a good listener, because without being a good listener, it's very hard to become a good speaker. These two things go hand in hand with each other. I use it all the time whenever I'm in a meeting with my clients or I'm over phone with someone. I let them talk as much as they can. So I respond back to those specific questions that come through their chatting over the phone. Thank you very much, guys. Good job. All amazing answers. So who among you were YLP? I know Avni was YLP before. Sarah, you were also in YLP, right?
No, I went directly into
You
this.
were not in YLP. Aditi was not in YLP, and Ira was not in YLP. Shan and Avni were in YLP, right? So how do you find YLP different from Gavel Club? Shan?
Like there's a few differences. Like there's different roles. There's more roles in MC Gavel Club than YLP. And YLP, it's like only 8 weeks, like 1 day per week, so like 8 sessions. But MC Gavel Club is on and on. And those are the only two differences I saw from my first MC Gavel Club to YLP.
Thank you very much, Shan. Avni, you want to add something?
Yeah. So what I see, in my opinion, the difference between YLP and like Gavel Club would be that the roles of like the executive community is longer. Like in the YLP, it was for 4 to 5 weeks, while I think the Gavel Club is for like a year.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the difference. And also the in a YLP, the table topic role was given, like the table topic questions were made by the one of the coordinators, but like in
Yeah.
Gavel Club, the table topics are made by the actual like the members of the club. So the sort of more of a difference is that the Gavel Club is more run by the members, and in the YLP, there's a little more assistance with the coordinators and counselors.
You are right. So because assistant coordinators, they run the program where it is all run by you guys in Gavel Club. Fabulous. But YLP prepares people to hit the Gavel Club running. They already have some knowledge where they can move over to Gavel Club or transition very easily into that environment. I will come back to our first panelist, Ira. Ira, how long have you been in this program by now?
I joined this program in early December. So I've been in it for a couple of months now, and I definitely have seen improvements. I hope to join again next year and I hope to apply for an executive position as well whenever applications will come. But through my
Yep.
being in it for the 2021 year, I definitely have. It's been very beneficial to me in terms of my speaking skills, my communication, and in general, my confidence has definitely been enhanced from attending these bi-weekly sessions. So that's how long I've been in this club.
Fantastic. And I know you will like to be a part of executive team next year. We will have elections somewhere around October for the new executive. So get ready for it. All right. Who is the panelist number 2? Oh, Shan. Shan, I know you have been for a quite little time. How much time exactly you been in this Toastmaster setup?
MC Gavel Club or
Together, both.
YLP and MC Gavel Club? Both or one?
Both. Both.
So I've been in YLP for 8 weeks. So like 8 sessions. And in MC Gavel Club, only one session. I'm new.
Wow. And look at you, you are still in the panel discussion up here. Give him a big round of applause, guys. He deserves it. He's jumping and taking leaps in Toastmasters Club. Coming back to Aditi. Aditi, how long you been in this program?
Well, I have taken a huge break since I joined Toastmasters or MC Gavel Club again. So I first joined when I was in third grade, when I was only like a
Oh,
tiny little
wow.
baby. When I was 9, I joined a Toastmasters club, and I think I joined for a few months, and then I think it got shut down in that specific area. And then
Okay.
after 2 years or so, or 2 or 3 years, my dad got an email or something from some kind of person and said like, "Hey, you can join this online Gavel Club thing," and it was Toastmasters. So he said, "Okay, you can go back to this, and you improved a lot in when you were in third grade. So maybe you can improve more right now." So I joined it, and I see a lot of improvements since I first joined. So
Yeah.
that's how long I've been joined. So altogether, maybe a year altogether. So yeah.
I notice you are a very aggressive VPPR of our club. You also designed a website for all of us. So I
Yes,
would
I did.
like you to share that website link in our WhatsApp group once again, because I intend to
Okay.
use it in our marketing material.
All right.
So Sarah, how long you been in this setup,
Thank you.
Toastmasters?
Yeah, I joined this club, Toastmasters, near the middle of 2020 last year. So
Yeah.
it's about the middle of 2021 now. So about 1 year. So I have an experience of a year, but I've learned a lot of things. I have improved in my listening skills and communication skills as I've been listening to others and more attentively and carefully and listening to a lot of details. And I've also been enjoying my role of vice president membership, and I've been enjoying introducing people to this club so they can also be a part of it and benefit from it as well. Thank you. Back to the
Fantastic.
council.
Thank you very much, Sarah. And Avni, I know you are close to 1 year in this club, right?
No, because when I joined the YLP, it was 8 weeks long. So, but I also joined the Gavel Club side by side a few weeks later. So, like maybe around the week 4 of YLP, I joined Gavel Club. So
Okay.
maybe if you sum it all up, maybe like 2 or 3 months, 2 to 4 months, yeah. Or yeah, basically half a year, I think. Yeah, half a year.
Half a year.
Yeah,
Half a
and
year. And I see great Toastmasters in all of you here. I know, because VP membership role becomes way more important when you are in adult youth leadership program, which is Toastmasters Club. In Gavel Club, we have a restricted number we can accommodate, but in Toastmasters, we can expand way more than this. Yes, Avni, you can continue. Sorry, I interrupted you.
it's okay. So during those 6 months and going on, I've seen a lot of improvement in myself, because before I joined, like when I was in fourth grade, whenever we presented, I usually stuttered over my words. And after joining Gavel Club, that has gone down a little. So I stutter a little less than I did before. So I definitely have seen improvement in myself.
Fabulous. So you guys kind of answered my next question, which I'm going to avoid right now, that how do you feel now? And all of you have told me that you really feel excited and happy about your progress so far. So I will start with Ira. Ira, what advice would you like to give to the parents or youth like you about Toastmasters?
Yeah, so there are many things that I would say to people who are looking to enhance their leadership and communication and public speaking skills. I think the number one thing is don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are inevitable, especially when you're growing, and they're an important aspect of being able to learn more. And I think mistakes kind of have a negative context behind them as people perceive them as the wrong things to do. But I think it's important to kind of praise mistakes because I think they're a very important aspect of growing as a person. And the second piece of advice I would say to someone who's hoping to improve their self and their skills is to be confident. I think confidence plays a big role in how other people perceive you. And it also, I think it's important if you do make a mistake to just have the confidence to go on with it. And I think that's what teaches you to fix these things in your public speaking in general. And I think that's what's going to help you improve in the future. So I would definitely say to someone who's joining, don't be afraid to make mistakes. And if you do, play it off with confidence.
Thank you very
Back
much.
to the counselor.
Great piece of advice. Great advice, Ira, like always. Sean, what advice would you like to give to the parents and youth who may be sitting on the fence and who don't know about Toastmasters Club, and what you're going to tell them?
So like my mom joined, she was afraid like everyone else. So then I like be confident. There's nothing to be scared of. And she got a little more shy because I was recording. And so like you have to be confident. Or like he was hiding behind the camera for like a minute or two. So like I was like, don't turn on your camera. There's nothing wrong. And I could tell she was a bit scared. So I was like, you have to be confident. And then she turned on her camera. And so like I was trying to basically get her to participate a little more. And I would just say be confident.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Sean. Aditi, what piece of advice would you like to give to other people to join YLP or Gavel clubs?
So something that I feel like everyone should do would be pushing themselves. Well, not exactly like forcing yourself to do this and like I have to do this or else I'll be really sad or and all this stuff. Don't push yourself that hard, but try to go out of your boundaries and participate. Just like Sean and Ira said, have confidence in yourself and push yourself to do this. If you just say, yes, I can do this in my brain, then once you do it, then you'll feel like, yeah, this wasn't so bad. So you might want to do it again. So then that process will happen over and over again until you're like the best participator in the whole world. So the I feel like we should learn how to participate a lot, but something that you shouldn't do, an advice I would give you is don't push yourself too much. If you're pushing yourself too much, you'll be stressed so much. I've been in this situation before. I pushed myself so much that I got headaches at night and every night. So push yourself, but don't jump off the cliff, okay? So that's a piece of advice I would give you. And like Ira said before, don't be afraid of making mistakes. And there's this quote called failure is the key to success. So if you fail hard enough every time, then you'll learn from your mistakes and you probably won't do that ever again. So my two pieces of advice would be push yourself. Don't push yourself too much though. And if uh, be open to mistakes and remember that failure is the key to success. Thank you for listening to me, and I'd like to pass it back to the counselor.
Great advice, Aditi. Thank you very much. Push yourself, but stay within the limit that you can handle. So don't go over that, and do not be afraid to participate. So now we'll ask the same question from panelist number 4, Sarah.
Okay, thank you. So the first piece of advice I'd give to youth and people who are willing to improve their public speaking and leadership skills would definitely be to grab all opportunities, even though like it may be nerve-wracking and scary at first, you should definitely go through with it. And another piece of advice I have would be to be calm and relaxed while doing anything without any hesitation, as I feel like when you aren't calm and relaxed, your brain becomes cloudy and fuzzy and you can't think straight. So definitely be calm and relaxed and act normal. It's not a big deal if you make a mistake. And the last thing I would say would be to go out of your comfort zone and try new things and have a variety with what you do. So yeah, that would be the 3 pieces of advice I'd give to people. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And we are now approaching our last panelist, Avni, with the same question. What piece of advice would you like to give to youth?
So advice I would give to someone who's joining Toastmasters for the first time is to be confident. Fake it till you make it. Even if you're nervous as heck, you could pretend that you're really confident and eventually you would fall into the routine and your nervousness would go away. Trust me, I say this from experience. Don't miss opportunities that you get. And don't stress out too much because mistakes are what helps you. If you don't make mistakes at all, that isn't good because nobody's perfect. Mistakes happen. So take every single opportunity you get and fake it till you make it, because if you act nervous on camera, then that won't help you. So if you pretend that you're confident and calm and collected, you'll eventually fall into the routine and all your nervous and anxiety would go away.
Awesome. Guys, give yourself a big round of applause. With that, we will close our panel discussion and some great nuggets that I got from you as advice to other people. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Acknowledge them, move forward, because failures are the pillars of success, like Aditi said. Be confident. Push yourself, but stay within the limits. Be confident. Don't hesitate. Grab all the opportunities you can, and calm and relaxed. Be there, be easy, and go out of comfort zone. Very nice. And follow routine was what Avni added. And do not miss opportunities. Fabulous. Great pieces of advice. You guys are far ahead of your age, and you are definitely community leaders. Thank you very much for this panel discussion. Yay! Let's make some noise. Yay! No noise because all of you are muted. Alrighty. So with this, we move on to the second component of our meeting, which is speeches. We don't have any formal evaluators because there was no intent of evaluating speeches. But if you wish to evaluate each other, you are more than welcome. That means everyone will be taking notes and giving an evaluation. So when you give evaluation, remember, you can always quote speakers from their speeches. That is a great way to evaluate and tell the speaker that you are actually listening to. So my first speaker of the day today, if you guys want, you can change your names back. You can remove panelists if you want. You're okay to do that. And my first speaker today is Ira.
Hello.
And I'm going to, I'm sorry?
Nothing, I just said hello.
Okay. So please welcome Ira. Ira, a word of change, Ira.
Are you able to see me?
Yes.
The only consistent thing in life is change. As contradictory as that may sound, it's the reality of the world. Day turns to night, your schedule is ever changing, and relationships with people you thought were unbreakable can be more fragile than you expected. While your circumstances may be constantly switching, how you deal with change is what defines you as a person. And although humans are able to adapt to certain forms of change easily, others are not as simple. The loss is an example of change that has a much deeper impact on a person. Loss of a family member, a friend, a pet even. Though family seems like the only stable aspect of life, loss is an inevitable, heartbreaking situation. And unfortunately, some are forced to face it at any age. And at a young age, there's almost no influential and significant entity in your life than your parents. An estimated 1.5 million percent of children, an estimated 1.5 million children in Canada are stated to have lost both or one of their parents by age 15. Though this may be a difficult or uncomfortable topic to discuss, it is definitely worth talking about. As we all grow older into independent adults, a significant portion from our youth is dedicated to understanding how to construct and maintain healthy relationships. A relationship of any sort, really. However, I, similarly to you, may not have realized. The foundation of our capacity to maintain proper interrelations begins with the kind of childhood we experience. More specifically, the dynamics we have with our parents. Sources have stated that during childhood, in order to obtain essential abilities for adulthood, children must have a relationship with someone who can apply the utmost amount of support. However, this can be destroyed for children who have lost a parent prior to reaching adulthood. In addition to the unavoidable feelings of grief and sadness, there are many other difficult factors a person takes into account when undergoing a loss. Kids can commonly face feelings of depression, anxiety, and even fear of losing someone else. There's also a considerable change in their everyday lives. Now, in society today, it's apparent that we're living under new, abnormal conditions. COVID-19 is a virus that not only affects your lung and respiratory system, but it's also taken a toll on society's economy, along with the social thread of our communities being affected. But an enduring change prevalent in the world today is loss. Though sources have stated that the virus's main target is elderly or those with poor immune systems, it's no secret that it can affect a person of any age. Alicia Abaramji from CTV News shared a recent heartbreaking story about a 4-year-old boy stating that he lost both of his parents due to the virus. The unconditional love and support a parent provides for their child for many years was cut short to only 48 months for Raiden Gonzalez. Raiden is one of the many children across the world who is currently facing this change while still being in lockdown. Though death can be unexpected and sometimes unpreventable, we as a community can do more to support those impacted. Recognizing that each individual has a different timeline of when they want to get back to regular schedules is the first step. Society, and specifically schools, should not put any added pressure on kids dealing with major life transitions. And along with supporting them educationally, it is crucial we offer advice to these individuals as they adapt to their new circumstances. The most important thing to remember is that you decide the outcome of your life. In every situation, you have a choice, and these choices are what define our character and our future. Though losing someone at a young age may seem like the greatest setback in life, it is an individual's mindset that impacts their core, not their loss. Take actress Julia Roberts, for instance. Perhaps you didn't know that her father passed away when she was just 10 years old. She stated numerous times it was the most difficult time period of her life. But she didn't let it cloud her ambitions. She set her mind to achieve her goals and has successfully pursued her acting career. Through the famous words of John Green, grief does not change you, it reveals you. Whoever it is that has been lost in your life, person. I've said today signifies the importance of good relationships with people you love while you can. Because you never know how important something is until it's gone. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Great speech. Now I will pause for 1 minute for everyone to evaluate Ira.
Were you able to hear me today?
At the end, you kind of froze for a few seconds.
Sorry about that.
Looks like your parents are cooking something in the kitchen. I could hear the utensils a lot.
Pardon?
I said I could hear the utensil sound in the background.
I'm sorry about that. I couldn't hear anything. It might be something else.
Okay, maybe everyone else was muted. But were you guys hearing some noise in the background? I was.
I heard a little, but not that much. Like I
Not
could
that
hear
much.
it.
It was
Yeah.
just a tiny
It
bit
was
of
there.
noise.
And maybe I had the volume on high. That's why I could hear more. But otherwise, we could hear you loud and clear, Ira. You froze for a few seconds, close to the ending. Okay, a minute is over. Moving on to speaker number 2. And our speaker number 2 is, who is speaker number 2? Our speaker number 2 is Avni. So with a big round of applause, let's have Avni on stage. Avni, life on Mars. Life on Mars, Avni. Her speech is from Project 2.
Can I share my screen?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Thank you. Can you see my screen?
I can, absolutely.
Okay. Have you ever wondered what life would be like if we lived on Mars? This might seem impossible, but 60 years ago, it seemed impossible to go to the moon. But it happened, didn't it, on July 16, 1969, 9:32 a.m. to be exact. Dear Toastmaster, fellow members, and honored guests, my name is Avni, and today I'm here to tell you all about Mars, the Martian environment, and how we may be able to live on Mars one day. It is possible, yeah, it definitely is. Someday we will walk on the surface of Mars and wonder how our fellow humans are doing back down on Earth. Centuries ago, airplanes and trains weren't invented yet. People had to travel on foot and use carriages and other slow means of travel. Back in the old days, people weren't as much as connected as we are as now. Thanks to technology. Whenever my grandparents call, they ask, when are you going to come back to India? When we're on Mars, I expect parents on Earth are going to call their kids on Mars and ask, when are you going to come back to Earth? Before we talk about life on Mars, we need to talk about the 5 basic things that are needed for life to be possible. The 5 basic things are water, shelter and habitat, air, food, and sunlight. These 5 things, scientists are still trying to figure out how these 5 things can be available on Mars for life to be sustainable and capable. On Mars, the average temperature is negative 81 degrees Fahrenheit. On Earth, it's 57. Pretty big difference. On top of that, the atmosphere on Mars is extremely thin, so it doesn't give as much of a protection as the atmosphere on Earth does. We need to figure out how we can make the atmosphere on Mars thicker so it can protect the planet from harmful things such as UV rays, from the sun, UV ray sunlight, and asteroids and meteors. As you might know, NASA actually landed a Mars rover on Mars that was launched on July 30th, which landed on February 18, 2021. Perseverance, the rover's name, is on Mars right now collecting samples and pictures that are sent back to Earth. The rover is equipped with the most advanced technology and jam-packed with instruments that will help explore our mysterious neighboring planet. Now, scientists know there is water on Mars. It's just underground, frozen. If there was a satellite positioned so that the sunlight from the sun would hit directly at the south pole of Mars, all the frozen water there would melt, making the planet over 30 feet underwater. The air and atmosphere on Mars is mostly made up of carbon dioxide, so it's basically an air paradise for plants. My theory is that if scientists were to plant plants that could resist cold temperatures and survive with frozen water, such as the plant called Pioneer, then maybe oxygen could enter the atmosphere of Mars, which right now is 100 times thinner than Earth's. The atmosphere on Mars is mostly 95% made up of carbon dioxide and less than 1% is oxygen. People would have to wear suits until humans can adapt to the Martian environment and pressure. This is because Mars is about one third smaller than Earth, because it's thus having less of a gravitational pull. There's not enough pressure pushing down on us as we have on Earth, so it will take a while for us to adapt. Our human bodies are adapted to the tons of pressure pushing down on us every single day. So if we were to go on Mars without any suit or equipment, we would survive for about under 2 minutes before our organs would start to rupture and freeze. Other than Earth, Mars is the only other planet in our solar system that is capable of life. We are still trying to figure out how we can get there, and if we do, we could be living in Mars in the next decade. Life on Mars really is possible. We could be living there in 2030 if we work hard enough, ask enough questions that lead to answers with more questions. We might be able to make it. The word impossible itself says I'm possible. We may be on Mars in 10 years. If so, I'll look forward to seeing all you guys there and Open Toastmasters there as well. Who knows, maybe there are Martians right now having the same discussion as we are, too. You never really know. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ebony. Amazing speech. I really liked your last anecdote to this, which was kind of humorous. You added something great there. Maybe they are already discussing Toastmasters up there. And I remember having seen the movie The Mars. The Mars or Martian? It was a movie in which this guy gets stuck up there. So 1 minute silence for you guys to make notes, to evaluate. Avni?
Are we going to share our evaluations?
You can just say at the end if you want to evaluate anyone. You can say, yes, I want to evaluate someone.
Can I go to the washroom?
Yes, sure. Turn your camera off, mic off.
I have a question. Do we send our evaluations to the speaker?
Now we can just share it here. You want to send it, you're
Okay.
welcome to do that.
Okay.
We weren't planning it as a regular speech, but because you guys insisted, and I'm okay with that. It's always fun and a pleasure to listen to all of you. Our next speaker is Aditi. Yes, Aditi.
Why do I have host controls? I don't think I should be
Oh, I
having
just
them.
gave you because when Ira kind of froze, I thought maybe it's my own computer that's losing internet. So I quickly made you co-host in case my system reboots or my internet reboots, at least the meeting can still continue.
Okay,
So I quickly set up.
okay then.
All right. So now we'll invite Aditi upon this virtual podium. Aditi, all about me. All about me. Aditi, please give her a big round of applause, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Jima, for introducing me. Hello, everyone. My life has been very interesting and exciting, so I would love to tell you some things about it. Today, I'll tell you more things about me, my family, things I like and dislike, my accomplishments, personality traits that I like and dislike, and what I want to fulfill when I grow up. First things first, I want to start off by telling you more about me. My name is Aditi. I am in sixth grade in the region of Halton. I was born in Michigan, which is a state in the United States, and my background is from India, since most of my family lives there. In my family, I have a brother, a mom, and a dad. They always help me whenever I am sad or down. My brother may seem a little bit naughty at first, but he can also be really nice in the inside. I also have many friends that I play and talk with. My friends and family are very important to me because they help me in many different ways, such as helping me with homework and helping me when I'm sad. I also have many interests and hobbies, like listening to music. Some musical artists that I really like listening to are Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, Billie Eilish, Conan Gray, and IU. I usually listen to music that has really good lyrics. So, for example, there's Taylor Swift, and she released a new album which has really great lyrics. I really recommend it to you. I usually listen to pop music, but now I'm trying to explore all types of genres such as indie music, K-pop, R&B, and electronic music. I also like reading books in my spare time. Some of my favorite authors would be Rick Riordan and Jonathan Oxier. Some of you might know Rick Riordan from the Percy Jackson books and the Heroes of Olympus. He's a really famous author, and he really is descriptive with his words, and he adds a lot of humor to his writing. So that's why I really love him. And Jonathan Oxier is a Canadian author who writes books about thriller he writes thriller books and fantasy books. I like these authors and their books very much because their writing is descriptive and humorous. The types of genres that I usually like in books are fantasy, fiction, mystery, comedy, thriller, action, and historical fiction. Sometimes when I'm bored, I watch YouTube. Some YouTube channels that I watch are CGP Grey, Oversimplified, Chris Kazakta in a Nutshell, and TED Ed. These channels are all related to science, history, or math in some way, but the creators present them in a way that makes the videos more enjoyable, funny, and entertaining for the viewers. I also watch YouTube channels that are related to the guitar. Those channels helped me play guitar when I couldn't have classes in person. Something else I want to add would be my school life. In school, I love the subject of social studies. I really love social studies because you get the chance to learn so many things about what happens in the world and in Canada. Some units that I learned in social studies this year would be about the First Nations and the Europeans trading and Canada's role in the globe. I especially love the Canada's role in the globe unit a lot because I love history, especially war history, and learning about that in sixth grade, because I'm in sixth grade right now, was like an absolute dream for me. So now I'd like to talk about what I've accomplished so far in my life. As I had said before, I have an interest in playing guitar. I've learned how to play guitar by watching YouTube videos online and using apps to teach me since I couldn't go anywhere because of the pandemic. And I was attending classes in person, but then the pandemic came right after that. So wow, thank you so much 2020. I also further studied a coding language called Python. I've made many codes with Python. For instance, I've made a code that can determine all the prime numbers between two numbers. Something else I'd like to tell you about would be my pet peeves. If you don't know what pet peeves are, they are things that make someone really annoyed. Something that gets on my nerves is when people walk really slowly in front of me. Like, why can't you just go faster? I also get annoyed when my Wi-Fi gets slow. Overall, I'm a very impatient person and I hate slow things. There are different types of personality traits that I look for in a friend. Some personality traits that I really like would be being honest, being friendly, being respectful, and being compassionate. Some personality traits that I really dislike would be being rude and dishonest. Something else I'd like to share with you would be my hopes, dreams, and aspirations. I'm not exactly sure what my occupation will be when I grow up, but I have a few options in my mind. A few people have told me that I would make a good lawyer, and I do not know why. Maybe it's because I fight a lot. So I think that's a compliment. I hope it's a compliment. So I'm thinking about it. I also think I'd be good at app development or app design since I know how to code. Something else I think about doing in the future would be a website designer since I've made websites with Google Sites. You know, this club has a website. I made it. So, yes. And I also know a bit about some coding languages that can help you make websites, such as HTML and CSS. I've also made a website for this club, like I said before. And finally, the last job choice on my list would be an educational YouTuber. Like I said before, I like watching YouTube channels that are very educational, that involve history, psychology, and science. And I have also made a few videos, and I like editing videos for school projects. Now you know more about me, my family, my interests, hobbies, accomplishments, my pet peeves, personality traits that I like and dislike, and what I want to achieve when I'm older. I've created my life to be adventurous, exciting, and interesting. My life has had great opportunities and challenges, so in the future, I'll try to grasp them to make my life the best one yet. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed my speech all about me. And I'd like to pass it back to the counselor.
Thank you very much. Nice speech. We literally got to know more about you. And I really want to know more about pet peeve. Just want to make sure I am not doing anything that can irritate you down the lane. That is really important for me. All right. You guys have 1 minute to make notes. If anyone wants to evaluate her, you're most welcome. All right, 1 minute is over. Now moving on to the last speaker of the day is Sarah. Please welcome Sarah up on stage. Sarah, the Perseverance Mission. The Perseverance Mission, Sarah.
Thank you. Have you ever wanted to explore further? Think outside the box? Well, in my speech, I will help you to do exactly that. I will talk about space exploration, specifically on Mars. On February 18th, dozens of scientists were glued to their screens at the National Aeronautics and Space Administration Control Center, or NASA. They were watching the final moments of landing Mars. High-definition videos showed the rocky surface getting closer to the vessel as it descended. Then they heard the words, "Touchdown confirmed." Then they leapt their feet and punched the sky in glee. The spacecraft held a 1-ton car-sized rover named Perseverance, or Percy for short. Percy launched from Earth on July 30th, 2020, and it navigated 470 million kilometers to Mars, traveling at 19,000 kilometers per hour. Then it plunged into the Martian atmosphere. Landing on Mars is no cakewalk. About half of NASA's previous Mars missions have failed. So for this one to work, a tricky series of maneuvers had to be unfolded. It took true precision and accuracy to get Percy to the red planet. Perseverance set to work right away, taking pictures. The images showed dusty, rocky, desolate, alien landscapes. Soon, the rover was sending audio recordings as well. For the first time, humans could listen to the sounds that the wind makes on Mars. Most of what we learned and know about Mars comes from decades of data collected by telescopes, spacecrafts, and astronauts. We have examined many meteorites, asteroids, and comets found on Earth that originally came from Mars. From this data, we know Mars is a rocky planet just like ours. Some places that are very similar to Mars that are here on Earth include Iceland, Antarctica, Atacama Desert in Chile, Arizona, and Hawaii. So far, all the rocks and minerals identified on Mars can also be found on Earth. The most commonly found is igneous basalt. It can be found on large parts of our ocean floor. Now, like Earth, Mars has an atmosphere, crust, mantle, and core. In addition to that, it also has 2 moons. The extremely thin atmosphere, though, exposes the planet to dangerous levels of ultraviolet space radiation. Mars has 4 seasons, and the average temperature of them, a whopping chilly minus 63 degrees Celsius. Signs of life? Geologists found the oldest known Mars rock in Antarctica. It is called the meteorite ALH840001. Scientists believed that meteorite formed about 4.1 billion years ago, but how? Well, scientists think an asteroid maybe collided with Mars and blasted out a crater. Many people thought the evidence was an absolute proof of past Martian life, but some scientists felt that it pointed out in that direction. Many people disagreed to that fact. Not everyone agreed. Life needs water and sunlight, but on Mars, there is barely any lakes, rivers, or seas on the red planet. But NASA knows that Mars did have a lot of surface water billions of years ago. Some liquid may still be trapped in minerals on the planet's crust. So the search of microbe fossils intensified. The rover landed in Jezero crater. Jezero is a bowl-like depression some 49 kilometers across. Scientists think that more than 3.5 billion years ago, river channels spilled over the crater wall to form a large lake. Jezero has a well-preserved imprint of a delta. A delta is a prime place to find signs of microbial life. Now, astronomers, biologists, geologists, physicists, and astronauts will work together searching for biosignatures in rocks. Biosignatures provide evidence of ancient life. Tiny fossils on the planet's surface were likely destroyed over hundreds of millions of years. However, some may be trapped in rocks beneath the surface. Percy's robotic arm has a drill embedded in it to remove buried rock and soil samples. Percy will also deploy cameras X-ray beams, and laser guns to probe the rocks. Scientific instruments that could truly prove microbial life once existed on Mars are too large and complex to send off Earth. So for now, the rover will collect promising samples. It will encase them in tubes and leave them on the planet so we can retrieve them from Mars on a later date. I hope you enjoyed my speech where I was rambling about my passion of space exploration. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Sarah. That was too technical speech and very informative. Let me turn this spotlights off. Here we are. Our meeting was supposed to end at 7 o'clock, initially 6:30, then speeches added on, then became 7 o'clock, and then we are at 7:20 now. So I would suggest if you guys have to evaluate any of the speaker, who would like to evaluate Ira's speech? Then we have 10 minutes to close the meeting. So we can end up, and we are meeting tomorrow again, right? So Aditi, yes, go ahead.
So first of all, I'd like to say Ira's speech was a wonderful speech in general. She was retelling her speech, A World of Change. I've heard it before, and someone else was evaluating her. And I really enjoyed it and felt very sorry for everyone else that's been experiencing uh, these traumatic experiences, especially children. She gave an example of this kid whose parents died of COVID, and I guess he's all alone now. What can he do? He doesn't have anyone to look up to. So that was really sad. And the value was very meaningful. And a lot of people have to know about these things that are happening around the world. So we so we know, just to know about this, to feel other people's pain of how they're feeling. And about her preparation, she had done a lot of research. Clearly, she was quoting a lot of people. She gave an example of someone from CTV News giving a resource, and I think that was great. And she was using a lot of body language too. She was moving her hands a lot, and I think that's cool. She organized her topics, like she had 3 sections or so, 3 or more. I don't exactly remember, but it was very clear on what message she was conveying. And her opening was also very captivating and made me want to listen to more. And the overall speech was really good. And she had a lot of information. The conclusion was very deep, like deep. We live in a society deep. And it was very meaningful and it was effective for me. It almost made me cry. Oh no. But we basically, the meaning was no, we have to accept whatever trauma we get. And one thing that I wish she improved on would be her transitions. Like, she was pausing her in between one section to another, like a long pause. And that's really effective, but I wish you paused for a little less time. But overall, you did an amazing speech and I really liked it. I'll pass it back to Mr. Chima.
Thank you very much, Aditi. Very nicely said. And I would like to add a little thing behind that. I was also observing, Ira, a great speech. You quoted a lot of people. I think it's Alicia Ramji, if I spelled that right, whose son passed away because of COVID from CTV, right? And then you also spoke about Julia Roberts, whose father passed away at 10 years of age, but she continued her journey onwards to pursue her goals. And this is where she is, because she she adjusted to the change. She didn't let emotions take her down, but she moved down. And I do agree when you said consistent thing is only the change. And relationships are way weaker than we think. Very deep statement, actually. It is so true. I have seen people being in a relationship for 50, 60 years, and then suddenly they separate. I fail to understand what happened. And over 1.5 million children lose one or both the parents by age 15 was a startling revelation for me. I never knew about that. Great job talking about those statistics. Good research, very well researched. So what I want to give you some growth points here. I noticed that you were reading, but you are also maintaining eye contact with every one of us. And I would like you to add a little more, what should I say, dramatization, such as when you are talking some sad things like parents losing children or children losing parents, that is something that has deep connection with every one of us. We relate well when you dramatize it. Over 1.5 million children lose one or both the parents. Just changing the pitch and tonality of these statements will make, in my opinion, my the way I could tell you, will give more, put more impact on the speech and will be very well received. And you can do that. And you can add a bit more voice modulations. You know, voice modulation, ups and downs, because speech should be your talk coming from inside your heart, something that you are passionate about, something you want people to receive well. When you add those dramatizations and emotions, and you go with the ups and downs of sadness and happiness in your speech, it will be way more effective and benefit you a lot. Try doing that next time if you want to repeat the same speech tomorrow. Otherwise, good speech. And I always look forward to listening to your speeches. Thank you very much. So now we're moving on to our next speaker, who was Evelyn. By the way, your speech was around 6:30. And all the speeches are well within time. Anyone wants to evaluate Evelyn's speech? It was live on Mars. Yes, Neera, go ahead.
Okay, so I thought your speech was a really interesting topic. I think life on Mars is very relevant and kind of cool, as science is a very popular subject among lots of students. So I thought it was a very great topic to choose. It was very informative. You had a lot of great information to learn. You talked a lot about scientific facts. So I think we can assume that you got a lot of it from websites, because it's scientific kind of factual things. So maybe next time, just maybe as you're saying a fact, you could say which website you got it from, whether it's NASA's website or any other kind of research place. Another small piece of advice I would say is go a little bit slower. Some of the lines were really informative, which is great, and I definitely learned a lot, but maybe some need a little bit more time to process that information, as it's a little hefty. So just if you went a little bit slower, I think that would help everyone have a chance to understand. And to ending a lot, it was like a lighthearted way, which brought up the mood, saying that we can have Toastmasters clubs on there. So I think that was a great way of ending it. And overall, I thought you did. So yeah, that's my explanation.
Thank you very much for very nicely given evaluation and very well noted. She did have a lot of scientific data, and it is so astonishing to hear that if the entire snow melted, Mars would be 33 feet underwater. Was that what you said, Avni?
Under 30 feet, not 33.
Under 33 feet, right?
No, 30, 30.
30, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's more than that. And I was really astonished to see the nitrogen variation versus Earth atmosphere, 1.9 versus 78% plus, more or less. And I like the way you ended your speech when you said, when we go there, maybe we'll start a Toastmasters Club. Maybe Maritians are already talking about that. You have a sense of humor in your speech, which I really enjoy. Yes, I do agree with the era. that citing sources adds credibility to your speech. And adding tonality, you guys are confident and very easy on camera. It's fabulous to see you guys doing like that. But adding sources adds more credibility. And you can even suggest further reading to people. You can post a comment or maybe put on your slide. If you need to know more, you can visit this website. So that would be astounding knowledge, because I see you and Sarah both are fascinated by planets. It's kind of similar approach. All righty. Thank you very much. Good jobs. Aditi's speech, all about me. Aditi, I really liked your speech, but I see Sarah's hand up and she would like to evaluate you. If you are okay, can I allow Sarah to evaluate you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. All right, Sarah. Go ahead.
Okay, firstly, I would like to say that she did a great job into her speech, and I could tell that she put a lot of effort and hard work into developing the speech. Okay, so firstly, for the introduction, I could, like, she distinctly stated all the points that she was going to hit in the presentation, in the intro, and that kind of gave us a, not really warning, but kind of a warning of what we were going to like learn about of her. The body was filled with different facts about herself, and just to name a few, she talked about her family, hobbies, and favorite books, but like she included way more than that. But throughout her speech, she was always clear and concise. Transition wise, I think she could do a better job because like all the elements that she had, for example, family and hobbies, for example, she might just suddenly switch without saying like, oh, let's move on to this now. But it's very minor, but still. I liked your tonality and pace throughout. It wasn't too fast nor was it slow. It was easy for me to follow along and process all the information. And you changed the tonality of your voice, which in my opinion made your speech more intriguing. And for next time, I really don't have a lot to say, but I would challenge you to use more hand gestures. But other than that, it was great. Thank you.
Awesome. Fabulous. And I really liked the speech. Aditi, this was a fantastic speech you delivered. You talked about everything about your family and what you'd like, and your pet peeves too, which no kind of worry me. And you are a confident speaker. You are very easy here. You know the phrase, you know what you're talking, and you have ability to add that touch of flavor to your speeches. And I don't know how you do that, but you add some touch to it. It becomes spicier when you say things with some, your humorous is kind of unique. Uh, I can't even master that, but you put that into it as a perfect recipe for it. You spoke about books. Yeah, I tried to make note of your authors, but I was kind of lacking. I couldn't follow the speed with which you were talking. So maybe next time give us a kind of little slide if you can. And you are a fast learner. I am amazed to see that you learned guitar while watching YouTube. Wow. And your sarcastic remark, I so liked it. Wow. Thank you very much, 2020. That was kind of a spark in your speech. So I would like to say, because the speech was all yours, I don't think you need to read it. You could internalize it. That will be, you will get more time for eye contact. I saw you using your hand gestures and eye gestures, but maybe if you pull a little bit back, Sarah would have seen more of that. It was because I think, is it because of space constraints, or I have a lot of room behind me so I can move 5 feet behind. But if that is the reason, I would totally understand it. Other than that, always a fun and pleasure to hearing your speeches. Aditi. Thank you very much for enlightening us about your life and yourself. Moving on, by the way, your speech was 5 minutes 57 seconds, and Avani's was 4 minutes 48 seconds. Sarah, speech 6 minutes 43 seconds. Anyone who would like to evaluate Sarah's the Perseverance mission? Percy, did she say that? Nicknamed Percy? Was that what you made it?
Yeah, that's the nickname for the space race.
Percy, just like Timmy for Tim Hortons. Okay. All righty. So I see Avani's hand up to evaluate Sarah. So please welcome Avani to evaluate Sarah.
Thank you. So first of all, I'd like to say that I could hear Sarah very well. So I understood her speech because it sort of like connected to my interests about space exploration. So I was really hooked on to every single word of her speech, and I enjoyed it very much. It was really interesting to learn about journey of perseverance through Mars because I didn't really know about most of that because a lot of that because when I was researching for my speech, I only researched about the Martian environment. So from listening to your speech, I learned a lot more about Mars than I had known before. So I loved how you added expression to your speech, and I could like see eye expression, so and enthusiasm. So I understood, and like I was hooked up to the speech, and I'm pretty sure everyone else was too. Something that I'd say for next, there isn't really some next like points that I could add for next time. But if there was something I had to say, I would say maybe add a few pauses between each paragraph you have, so it's easier to transition between each topic. Overall, it was a really great speech because because it was really interesting for me to learn about.
Thank you very much, Avani. We have two future space explorers right here in our Gavel Club. One day we will be watching you guys put on your space suits and go up in that space shuttle. I really liked your speech. Did you say that it was launched on July 2020?
Yeah, 2020.
Okay, good. So nice number they picked up. Dusty environment, rocky planet, and it has 4 seasons, but I don't want to enjoy any of them because of minus 250 degrees Celsius. Oh my God. I think you will just break into tiny bits. Like if you are dropped in nitrogen tank, this is what happens to your body. It becomes brittle at that temperature. And you talked about a meteor, ALH 840001. I guess I took the number right. 4.1 billion years ago. Are those Earth's billion years or they are Mars billion years?
So the meteorite came from Mars. So it was it came off Mars and gradually set on Earth, and that process took 4.7 years. So it's 4.1 years.
Okay. I really liked your speech, and you painted the picture of emotions of scientists when it landed on the surface of Mars. That was fabulous, and I could visualize that picture when they say, "Yay!" Right? Research was fantastic. You are confident, easy, always forthcoming with your speeches. This is what I would like to challenge you on. And Avani did cover some of it, adding some pauses during transitioning. I would say practice, 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 practice. Try to internalize it. I noticed you got stuck on certain words, some terms there that you had to focus on it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's all okay. But if you are giving speech on platform and 1,000 people are watching you, you may want to be way more effective, because when you look down there and it breaks connection between you and the audience. And the way people deliver speech is they in person, they look at a particular person, they lock their eyes with this person for let's say 10, 15 seconds. You don't lock forever. Otherwise the person will feel nervous, right? and then they move the gaze to the second side, they lock someone else. This is how they keep going. And sometimes you don't get chance to read your notes. So it is when you are practicing again and again and again, you get the core message. And doesn't matter what the verbiage you use, your message is still going to be the same. You know, the same dialogue can be said in so many different ways, right? So this is how it is. So if you could add some slides or citations about your research where people can go like Ira suggested to previous speaker, that would be fantastic, very effective. I know it was very deep research you did. We're thankful to your time to educate all of us. And I look forward to more such speeches from you. Technical, wow. Good job, everyone. Yay! I so like it. You all deserve a pat on your shoulders for doing amazing job and enjoying the spirit of Toastmasters. I'm so happy. So now, because we are more than a regular meeting, I would like to adjourn the meeting now. It is 7:40 p.m. and we meet tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Sunday, our regular Gavel Club meeting. So let me put this on halt now.